Crimson Trace announces Link, the world's first wireless laser and white light system, combining a green laser and 300 lumen light with instinctive activation for AR-type rifles. Link, smart, simple, secure. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
This is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, now available on iTunes and other podcast clients, and on the free Dealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android. Feel free to call Tom now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN or 866-825-5486, or email Tom at guntalk.com. Now, once again, here's Tom.
Sometimes I feel guilty having... No, I don't. I don't feel guilty at all. Yes, this is so much fun. We get to talk about guns and shooting and ammo and ballistics and all kind of fun stuff. Did you watch any of the coverage? Or maybe the non-coverage of the Olympics? Kim Rhodey. Wow. Kim Rhodey. Such a record. 6 Olympic Games she's won a medal in. 6. She's won an Olympic medal on 5 separate continents. And yet, this American woman, this winter, she's got gold, silvers, and bronze, largely ignored by ESPN, by NBC covering the Olympics, by the general media. We got nonstop reports of a stupid swimmer who does a stupid thing and who cares. But this incredible woman, she went to her first Olympics when she was 16. Now she's 37. She keeps winning. Now she said, Tokyo, yeah, probably. And if it goes to L.A. after that, she'll probably go compete there too. Setting records. Well, why in the world would she? Oh, that's why they're not covering it. She's a shooter. Yeah. Well, and she won in 2 different events. Do you know how hard it is to switch from trap to skeet? She was winning in women's double trap, and the Olympics ended that event. She says, oh, it's okay. I'll go learn how to shoot skeet. Now, I said learn how to shoot skeet. When she was 13, she was a U.S. women's champion in skeet, beating all the adults. Amazing. Amazing bias. Culture war. This is the culture war. More than 10 years ago, Michael Bain told me he had a friend in general media. He said, his friend told him, says, look, Michael, this is real simple. He says, we don't publish anything positive about guns or shooting. Michael said, well, how do you do that? He says, we just don't go. If we're invited to some event where anything positive about guns and shooting, the shooting sports might happen, we turn it down. He says, I can be fired for covering anything positive about shooting or guns. That was more than 10 years ago. It's gotten much, much worse. We really are watching the death of journalism right now. They're so in the tank for Hillary. It's gone so crazy. There's not even a pretense of being unbiased or fair. It's the reporter / announcer, host, whatever, isn't even the arbiter between two people. He has a guest on and they just yell at him. Just yell. No, that's not right. And then, of course, have you seen the hilarious 10-minute video on YouTube of CNN cutting people off whenever they started to say something negative about Hillary? They would just shout them down or cut them off. Not once or twice, but dozens and dozens and dozens of times. Just cut them off. We are not going to let you say anything negative about our woman here, the next queen. Journalism, it makes me sad. I went to J school a long time ago. And they said back then, they drilled it into us, there are 3 tenets of journalism. Accuracy, accuracy, and accuracy. That's it. Get it right. Every time. Do your job, come back the next day and get it right every time. Accuracy. Huh. Sad, isn't it? It is sad what we're seeing. Just I'm not sure there's much journalism out there anymore. Neither here nor there, except when they say we are going to use this advocacy journalism to stomp on the image. Understand what's going on here. The image of guns and gun owners. We will show the public only the negative about gun ownership, and we will refuse to show them the positives about gun ownership. Every day in America, hundreds, literally hundreds of people use guns to save themselves or to stop crime or to prevent crime. Hundreds of times a day in America. No coverage. But you will see nonstop coverage of criminal use of guns. We have the Olympics, where these fine athletes who compete every day, who are out there training every day, who are working hard and have trouble getting any kind of sponsorships. In fact, they get no sponsorships from outside the firearms industry. Nike, not happening. Under Armour, forget about it. Not happening. Where's the coverage? It's not there. And when you do that, and this is the point of the whole thing, this is part of the culture war against you and against me. Because what they are saying to America is that there's something wrong with these people. There's something wrong with people who like guns. There's something strangely disturbing about an interest in firearms and an interest in being self-reliant. And this whole freedom thing is really frightening and odd and kind of at odds with the whole groupthink that we like to buy into now. And by doing this, and here's the payoff on this, by doing this, they slowly but surely change the view many Americans have of guns, but more specifically of gun owners. By doing that, you change how people vote. You change what people do. When you invite someone to go out shooting, or you say, hey, we're taking the kids out shooting, would your kids like to go? And they go, I don't know about that. And they're not even sure why, but they have been a victim of the culture war. It's insidious, but it's also calculated. It may or may not, I do not know, be calculated by the so-called journalist, but it is most definitely calculated by the people who feed them this information, the Bloombergs of the world. Bloomberg, of course, as I've mentioned before, actually puts on seminars for journalists on how to cover guns. The anti-gun, gun-banning Bloomberg group puts on and funds seminars for journalists on how they should cover the issue of firearms. So what do you think they're going to do with that? How do you think they're going to go out there and talk about you and your sports and your desire to be safe and to keep your family safe? They're going to marginalize it, minimize it, going to make fun of it. They're going to make you seem like you're just a little bit strange and different. But here's the payoff on all of that. I think it's failing. I think people are waking up. I think people are figuring it out. I think people are saying, I'm not buying into that. More and more people buying guns, taking self-defense classes, getting their concealed carry permits. 30 to 40% of the people buying self-defense guns now are women, and millennials are getting involved in shooting. I think we're looking at some very positive things out there, and sometimes it's hard to see that through this fog of all the media miscoverage. But I think it's there. What do you think? What are you seeing out there? Give me a holler, 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN.
Alien Gear Holsters, the most comfortable and concealable holsters on the planet, is offering big savings with our new 2-holster combo. Now you can buy 2 complete holsters for as little as $49.88. Choose from any available holster styles and colors for the guns of your choice. All of Alien Gear's quality products are made right here in the USA and include a 30-day trial, forever warranty, and free shell trades for life. Visit aliengearholsters.com today.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gandhi Leo. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gandhi Leo on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gandhi Leo. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or Gandilio.com.
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Did you see the story? Hillary makes a flight in a private jet from Martha's Vineyard to Nantucket. It's 20 miles. 20 miles in a private jet. Hey, that's okay. Obama's going to come to Baton Rouge. Now that Trump has already been there. He wasn't going to come until Trump went. Trump shows up with an 18-wheeler full of goods for people, gave $100,000 to a church. Obama will show up and give people money. The only difference is it's our money, not his. Line 4, Enid is in Grand Forks. Hey, Enid, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for taking my call. I can talk about why you don't want the president at your disaster.
Right.
I was a major in the Air Force, and I was stationed at Grand Forks Air Force Base in 1997 when we had a winter with record-setting snowfalls and blizzards, and the Red River of the North, for the folks who haven't looked at the map, runs up the border between Minnesota and North Dakota into Canada. It runs north. So in the spring, it runs into its ice, not away from its ice.
Okay.
So in 97, after record-setting snowfalls all across the region, all draining into the Red River, we had a flood. And the city of Grand Forks had to evacuate. And the whole town evacuated, and the first place they came was to the Air Force Base. And as a young major, I was in aircraft maintenance. So the hangars belonged to me. And all at once, I'm in charge of hangars full of refugees. And fortunately, the professional masters of disaster, the Red Cross and the Salvation Army, and a whole bunch of churches from Texas were on the doorstep just that quick. And we had people from the base helping set up cots and stuff, but we had the Red Cross and the Salvation Army coordinating everything and bringing in trailer loads and trailer loads of food and kitchen equipment, and just they're awesome to work with. And in the middle of all this, Bill Clinton was was watching news coverage of our last blizzard and watching footage of people trying to sandbag along the Red River in the middle of the blizzard. So he came out to help feel our pain.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord,
bringing the entourage
right.
and all of the logistics and all of the mess that comes with a presidential visit.
That's right, and it's all descending on the base, and he wants to come address us in the hangar. And the way our hangar was laid out was, when we built it, the bay in the middle not only is big enough to hold an airplane, but we put a stage up there, and we had one of the giant flags up on the on the electric roller, so we could run it up and down when we wanted to have big events, or with a big movie screen behind it in case we needed to show a film. Sure. And his Secret Service people didn't like that location because that hangar shared a door with the bay next door, and they said, we can't secure this enough. So they wanted to crowd everybody into the smallest bay in the hangar because it was the one that was physically isolated from the others. They had perfect control of everything. And we had, by the time President Clinton came, we had most of the folks that were left were there because they wanted to stay right where a medical team was near at hand. We had folks with bad health. We had folks with wheelchairs. I remember one guy I got to be friendly with, his wife was having a particularly tricky pregnancy, so they wanted to stay right there where in case anything happened, there were medics right at hand. And so we got all these people, and we're making them get off their cots and go crowd into the smallest bay in the hangar. And the Secret Service, well, no, it wasn't the Secret Service. The President's handlers wanted us to take our great big flag down and duct tape it to the wall in the little hangar. And we said, you do not understand. That is absolutely not happening.
You don't do that, no.
We are not duct taping the flag to the wall. And so I've been through what it's like when the President comes to call in your disaster. And a few years later, George Bush caught all kinds of garbage from the media because he flew over Katrina.
Right.
And having been through what happens when the President comes to your disaster, having the President do a flyover is about as personally involved as I want the President to get.
Well, it's interesting you say that because Bush said, I didn't want to go down there. It would just be a mess. When I show up, it's this awful mess. And then he said, of course, in retrospect, he just got hammered. And they still today, this morning, they're showing that same picture of him looking out the window and saying, well, George Bush just did a flyover and didn't go down there. And to your experience, you're going, yeah, but that's a good thing. You don't need, because people don't understand what the entourage is. It's not like a dozen people or 100 people. It's blocking off the interstates. It's stopping traffic whenever the motorcade goes through. It's intrusive to the extent that you can't even imagine. And also, as Jim says, or Michelle's saying here, it also takes the focus off of what actually needs to be done.
Yes.
I appreciate you sharing this.
A couple years beyond that, I had an assignment down to Botswana. Don't ask me how I qualified for an embassy assignment, except I'm a logistician. And the big thing down there was President Bush had a lot of money involved in Southern Africa for AIDS testing and education and stuff to try to get a handle on the Southern African AIDS epidemic. And as part of that, he visited several countries in South Africa, and I was down there when he came through Botswana. And at that time, aside from a few little things, that visit was lots of fun because Bush's people were awesome. They got right with the president of Botswana's people, and they talked about how do you want to do it, what's the route. And the president of Botswana at the time was really easy person to work with. And then afterwards, as President Bush was on his way to the airplane to exit and head to the next country, he had time. They had a area set aside in a tent for all the embassy staff to come in, so President Bush could come in and give us about 10 minutes of thanking us for all the hard work we'd done to make ready for him to come visit for an afternoon.
Wow. That's classy. I always heard he was a very classy guy. Listen, Enid, I got to run, but I appreciate the story. I appreciate your service, by the way. Thank you so much. For those who don't know, I just was mentioning the story that Hillary Clinton makes a 20-mile trip in a private jet from Martha's Vineyard to Nantucket. By the way, if you actually do want to help the people in Louisiana, if you got $10, text the word LA Floods, just LAFLOODS, LA Floods, to 90999. That's the Red Cross. It's not me. It's not Gun Talk. It's not anybody else. It's just the Red Cross. 90999. Just text it to them. Just the word LA Floods, all one word. And they'll tap you for $10 on your phone bill. If you can, it's appreciated. A lot of folks hurting down there. Line 2, Travis is in Colorado. Travis, I don't have a lot of time, so please dive in, please.
Okay. I've got, my father-in-law has a firearm that I think you might be interested in. It's a 1911. It was produced in either 42 to 44, and it was produced by Ballester Molina in Argentina. And It was produced for Churchills SOE. And what my question is to you is, do you have any resources that we can try and track down the history of this specific firearm with?
Wow. I would almost think, since it's Churchill, I'm wondering if there's a way to get to British sources. Probably the first place to start would be Steve Fiestad. He is the editor and publisher, author of the Blue Book of Gun Values. And you can just find him online. Just look up Blue Book of Gun Values. And Steve is one of those guys that if he doesn't know it, he knows who knows it. That would probably be my first place to go. If you just go to Blue Book of Gun Values on the web and find Steve, send him a note, tell him what's going on. I think you would find that a very interesting project and might be able to dive into that. Look, I wish you luck. Fascinating. Wow, fascinating gun. By the way, for the Gun Venture Show, we're going to have Johnny Dury showing some incredible guns. How about a gun that belongs to President Lincoln? Yeah. Hold it in your hands. There it is, right there. Unbelievable. It's going to be a great show coming up in just a couple of weeks here. All righty. 866 Talk Gun. Get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. Give us a holler. You can be a part of Gun Talk.
Want your opinion to make a difference? Log on to our website and take the Gun Talk poll, www.guntalk.com. Now, once again, opinion page regular contributor for the Washington Times, here's Tom.
Oh, you probably know by now, but if you don't, I'll tell you again. Our TV shows, Gun Venture, Gun Talk, Guns and Gear, and also First Person Defender are now available on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. So if you have any of those, you can see a whole bunch of shows. You go find Gun Talk on there. Well, we just, I think on Friday, 2 days ago, just put up a new video. I flew up to Huntsville, Alabama, hopped in the old Beechcraft and jumped up there, and got to shoot the brand new reintroduced Remington R51 pistol, 9mm pistol. And if you know the story, they brought it out 2 years ago, and it was a disaster. The ones they sent to the media worked great. And so it had all these glowing reports because they had hand-selected them and finished them out. And then the ones they sent out to sell had problems with a capital P that rhymes with T. Trouble. It was bad. They recalled them all. They said, look, here's what we'll do. We'll take it back, and when the new R51 comes out, we'll give you one of those, or if you would rather, we'll give you a 1911. It costs more, but that's okay. We'll do that. So they did step up to the plate. And what I found when I went there was an interesting story. They said, well, yes, the R51 is out, and it's better, and it works. But more than that, our monumental screw-up, my words, not theirs, because they wouldn't quite go that far, Our monumental screw-up made us look at what was going on, and we went in and redesigned the processes of everything. So we're now making better guns across the board because we don't want to ever have a PR disaster like that. So they went back in and looked at how they do everything, quality control, who looks at things, how things move through the plant, on and on and on. This is a new 600,000 square foot plant that they're in now in Huntsville. And I said, okay, I'll come up, guys, but here's the deal. You can't hand select a gun for me. I said, okay. I said, I want to be able to just pick up any gun on the line, in a box, sitting out, wherever, anything that's been completed, and shoot it. I said, okay. I said, no, I'm going to pick up 2 of them. So I went up there and I picked up 2 different guns, just at random. They didn't know which ones. I watched the process of how they're made, and then I picked up 2 guns, went into the range, and I shot right at 200 rounds, just as fast as I could shoot them. And I did have, I think, 3 failures to feed out of 200 rounds. Now, to be fair, the guns I picked up actually had not been completely through their quality control process. I got them a little bit early because all the R51s they sell now are shot. They all have, let's see, 14 rounds, I think, put through them. And then some of them have 500 rounds put through them. But the ones I picked up had not had any rounds through them. So I was kind of doing the QC work on it. The other thing that I did, which was interesting, I did not know, is I picked up, I had a fresh magazine. They had loaded up all these magazines. Oh, and thank you very much. They were all plus P loads. Yeah, I really wanted that. But they said they have found in their testing, and they've put 1.3 million rounds through R51 so far, that they find that it takes about 3 magazine loads to be shot through a magazine before it settles in and becomes reliable. Not something I'd ever heard of. Makes a kind of some sense, I guess. Nice gun, shoots soft. But anyway, we have the video of all of that up on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. And I'm sure we'll have it on our YouTube channel next week. So just kind of let you know. The R51 is out. It's kind of cool looking. It's a mid to compact, kind of in the XDS Shield size gun, something like that. Okay. Let's drop down to line 4, where John's with us out of Fargo, North Dakota. Hey, John, you bought a book.
Good afternoon, Tom. First off, thoughts and prayers to the folks down in your part of the globe there. We've been through similar up here. I'll tell you, it's just not pretty.
No, it's not.
Answered your call to duty a few weeks ago, sir, about John Lott's new book. Eye-opening.
Yes.
That's the best description.
Yeah.
Eye-opening. I'll tell you, I've never read a book that has just totally changed my view. I used to be in that camp of, well, maybe a little compromise would be a good thing. I am now fully awake and realizing the war that is being set upon us as gun owners.
The book is titled The War on Guns, Arming Yourself Against Gun Control Lies. It's a brand new book out, came out August 1. When you say eye-opening, now, obviously you're a gun owner, you're a shooter, but somehow you had gotten to well, maybe we could, you know what it is? You kept hearing it so often and thinking, well, a little compromise might be okay. It's like this constant drumbeat, isn't it?
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, I was kind of in that camp for a while. That it's like, well, okay, maybe we should consider giving in and closing the gun show loophole. And then, suddenly I'm realizing too from going to gun shows and looking at the sheer number of dealers there that, again, and I've bought guns at gun shows, and hey, guess what? I've gone through background checks, which to me is a great thing, that they're going ahead and doing this. Right. And then I realized that, oh, yeah, this is all part of their legal requirements to begin with. So this is like a no-brainer. Why do we need, further compromises when you read John's book and the man can back up every statement that he makes in this book with facts that tell you point blank it's not making any darn difference. What they,
that's the thing is that he'll lay it out and say, look,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
It just makes no difference. Everything that they propose to do to us has already been implemented in some form somewhere at some point and has come to absolutely no useful purpose other than to further restrict our rights as legal gun owners and just make our life a pain in the rear.
That was exactly what I was going to say, so I'm glad you went there. Essentially, everything that's being proposed has already been done and is being done somewhere in the U.S., and you don't even have to go to other countries. It's all being done somewhere in the U.S., and it all fails. It does not reduce crime. It does not stop bad guys from getting guns. All it does is it makes it harder for us, the good guys, to buy guns, to own guns, to use guns, to keep guns. It makes it more expensive. They're talking about registration. They're talking about confiscation. They're talking about background checks to buy ammo, which you're going to have in California. It goes on and on. Let me ask you a question here, John. After you read Lott's book, didn't you feel like you're ready to talk to anybody about this and say, look, just slow down. Let me explain to you some of the facts about this.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one, Tom. And I'll tell you, because I've been kind of fighting that battle anyways on and off over the years with some of the liberals that we have on talk shows around here. And I'm one of those guys who, my 6-year-old, well, she's 8, going on 9 now, 6-year-old granddaughter originally used to go to the range with me, and she still does. And I used to get a lot of guff from people about that. And I said, what's wrong with teaching a kid proper gun handling and safety? And people that just give you the look like you were wearing the tinfoil hat.
I know. Well, but the thing is, after you get this book, you've got the intellectual ammunition I'm always talking about. See, I've got what I need. So, well, look, let me explain to you this. In fact, let me flip this page open here. Don't trust me on this. John Lott actually gives the sources. You can look it up yourself. You can go online. You can Google all this stuff. It's a great book. It is called The War on Guns, Arming Yourself Against Gun Control Lies, available on Amazon. John, thank you so much for your call. I appreciate that. 866-TALK-GUN is our number here. Give us a holler. Give us your range report. And by the way, if you had to pick one rifle for all North American hunting, what would it be?
The Ruger American Rifle is a 100% American-made firearm that offers outstanding performance at a great price. Available in standard size and compact models, it features power-bending integral bedding blocks, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, a flush-fit 4-round rotary magazine, and a 3-lug bolt with 70-degree throw. Compact models feature a shorter length of pull and a shorter barrel for a reduction in overall length of more than 5 inches. The Ruger American Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the Vada Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
FN handguns bear the DNA of legends, of John Browning, the father of modern firearms, of the artisans and craftsmen who brought his genius to life, of the brave souls who defended our freedom on the front lines for the last 100 years, and the brave souls who defend it on the home front today. FN handguns, the DNA of legends in the palm of your hand. Ask for FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have Gandhi Leo, the free app for your smartphone. Gandhi Leo delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get Gandhi Leo. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with Gandhi Leo. GandhiLeo.com.
just got email. I want to read this to you. It's from a friend of mine, retired cop. I'm talking about having the stuff in your car where people go, I never thought of that. I don't carry water. I don't carry. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about deciding who you are, who you're going to be, and not letting other people talk you out of it or somehow make you feel like, oh, well, yeah, it's kind of weird. It says, Tom, I own 2 cars. This is a little bit lengthy, but stay with me. A minivan for the grandkids and a 4x4 crossover. In each of them, I have survival supplies with everything from signal mirrors, cable saws, folding saws, machetes, space blankets, fire starters, and kindling. First aid kits, flares, cold weather jackets, rain gear, compasses, maps, etc., etc. I went to Harbor Freight and other stores over time and put together the kits, quote, just in case. In case I get stuck and have to either survive in place or get home any way I can. I also have 2 large bug-out boxes at home for longer-term survival, from food and water to camping gear, water purification devices, shelters, walkie-talkies, and everything else I could think of. Don't forget the toilet paper. All caps, every time I go out the door, I'm prepared to fight my way home. On my person, at least 1 pistol, 2 reloads each, tactical knife, smaller knife, mini LED mag light, small multi-tool, etc. Dressed for the weather except no shorts, usually cargo pants with lots of pockets, and absolutely no flip-flops. Always good walking shoes or boots depending on the weather. Cell phone, GPS, etc. Plus, I have the ability to carry my retired police ID and badge, which could help me get past any government employees who don't want me to pass. Great topic, lots to think about. P.S. 22 years ago, my officer involved shooting. Yeah, I know that story too. Because he was the cop, and he was surrounded by a bunch of cops who thinks about these things, who practices, who takes it seriously, who knows how to shoot. When the attack came and they're all standing there just watching this woman sitting on the floor of the store, when she jumped up suddenly and came at him with a knife to kill him, all the other officers are standing there kind of like, what happened? My friend shot her, killed her. Came out of the holster and shot her, bang, just like that, done. Everybody else is going, wow, what just happened? Mindset, people, mindset. You cannot develop the mindset in the middle of an attack. You do it every day. When you put on your clothes, when you put on your gun, when you make sure you have your knife, when you have the stuff in your pockets. I have a signal whistle with me at all times, always. Always have a knife, maybe 2. Always have a gun, maybe 2. A lot of times I'll even have a tourniquet stuck in one of the cargo pants pockets. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, it is, until you're the one who's bleeding out and I've got a tourniquet. Huh. Intot. Yeah. It's about deciding who you are, who you want to be. Man or woman, doesn't matter. Are you going to take care of your family? You say, well, sure I am. Really? How? With what? Cell phone's down. You're there. Nobody else is. You got to get through. You've got to get to help. You've got to help on the scene. You've got to fight off an attack. Or maybe you're just stuck somewhere for a day or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Who are you? Are you the person you want to be? Today might be a good day to start thinking about that. And as quickly as you think about it, then it's time to start doing something about it. We're talking about sheepdogs and sheep. We need more sheepdogs, and you can be one.
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns.
right, let's go straight to the phones. Line 2, Robert is in North Dakota. Robert, you're looking at some of this new ammo, huh?
Yes, sir. Hi, Tom. Just your opinion on that poly case. 2 quick questions. What's your opinion on the poly case ammunition? I haven't tried it yet. I've heard some things about it. And the other question is, what is a ghost AR? I've heard these people say, get your ghost AR. I don't know if they ship it to your house or what.
I tell you what, I got time for only one question. I'm going to do polycase. Polycase ammo, also they're making it for Ruger these days. They call it the Interceptor ammo. It uses kind of a polymer bronze blend bullet. It's a non-expanding bullet, but it is a self-defense bullet, which sounds weird, but it really works. We've tried it in gel. We've tried it on shooting hogs with it. It's pretty weird. Lighter weight bullets, higher velocity, but lower recoil with non-expanding bullets that actually have hit with great force and disrupt tissue like crazy. I would suggest anybody who's interested, go to the website polycaseammo.com. You can also go look at our TV show, Gun Venture, where we went to the Polycase factory, looked at what they did, shot it, and then went out and shot hogs with it. And that's all available, as I say, over the top on, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV now. So there you go. Also, I want to jump down to line 1. William is in Albertville, Alabama. William, what have I done? I've gotten myself in trouble?
Tom, you got me in trouble, Tom.
Oh, well, that's better then. That's a lot better than getting me in trouble.
That's much better. I work part-time on the weekends at a gun shop, supposedly to bring home extra money. And this past weekend, driving in, my wife told me, I was listening to one of your archive shows, she said, don't get all fired up listening to Tom and then bring home a gun from work. and I did exactly what she said. I didn't bring home a gun. I brought home 3.
Oh, you dog.
I know.
Okay.
I know. It is a Remington R51 Enhanced 1911, a Colt Series 70 1911, and a SIG TAC Ops 1911.
I'm sensing a trend here.
Well, some say I'm a 1911 guy. I haven't seen the evidence that points to that just yet, but
no, of course not. Yeah,
but all 3 of them just outstanding shooters. Love the TAC Ops with the rail on it. I've got Streamlight TLR1 light I can put on the bottom of it. They're just they're awesome.
Well, William, they say that the first step in taking care of a problem is recognizing you have a problem. And if you need help, I will testify that you don't have a problem, buddy. You got the right idea. I like what you're doing here.
Well, I hope she's listening right now and heard that then. So she'll let me back to the house at the doghouse.
That's right. I will grant dispensation on this one. You are good to go. Besides, I love 1911s, and you got some really nice ones there. That's very cool. Well, look, I appreciate you passing that along. You may have to wait a week or 2 before you get any more of those, Oh, Lordy. Tell you what, we don't have time to get everybody else in here, but don't go anywhere. We're going to get back to you. Let's see. When we come back, also, I got a story for you. Guy's out hunting, has an accident, way out of cell phone range. He's going to need to get medevaced out. Now what do you do? Well, we've got a solution for him. Along the lines of this whole being prepared, taking care of yourself, thinking ahead. And I've been doing this, oh my gosh, for, 25, 30 years. Back before we had any of these newer devices, I actually carried an aircraft ELT, a little pocket ELT with me when I was out hunting or fishing in Alaska. And my idea was I could set that off and maybe they would come by me, because that was even before cell phones. If you can't imagine needing something like that, I will just say you need a better imagination. You need to read some of these stories. You need to read my book, Close Calls, for people like Close Calls with Death in the Outdoors. That'll recalibrate you. You want to hear this story, guarantee you. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk.